Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to talk about the most important biomolecules in living organism, that is nucleic acids. So these incredible molecules are blueprints of the life, storing and transmitting the genetic information. So let's dive in. First, we will see what are nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are large biomolecules that carries the genetic instructions used in growth, development and functioning of all living organisms. Actually, there are two main types, DNA and RNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acids and RNA stands for ribonucleic acids. These are the diagrams of DNA and RNA. DNA is double-stranded, RNA is single-stranded. This is one difference between DNA and RNA. So, in this video, I'm not going to talk about the differences between DNA and RNA. So, I'll be talking in those things later in a separate video. So, let's move to the next part. So let's move to the next part. It's structure of DNA and RNA. DNA this is a diagram of DNA. DNA is double-stranded helix. It is covered by Watson and Crick. So normally in science we are called it Watson and Crick model. The two-stranded are held together by hydrogen bonds between complementary bases. As I said earlier, I told you that DNA has 4 nitrogen bases: adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine. These 4 nitrogen bases are held together by hydrogen bonds. So, in case of RNA, RNA is normally single-stranded. It comes in different forms. Different forms are mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. mRNA stands for messenger RNA. tRNA stands for transferring RNA. And rRNA stands for ribosomal RNA. RNA plays a special role in protein synthesis. Each of these RNA has different roles in protein synthesis. It's a kind of complex mechanism, so it has a separate video. You can watch it later. So for this moment, just remember RNA is single-stranded and it comes in different forms. It has 3 types of RNAs: mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. So let's move to the next part. When talking about the functions of nucleic acids, so in here we are talking about the functions of both DNA and RNA. The first function is storage of genetic information. We know DNA stores all the genetic information required for the cell structure, functions and regulation of body cells, tissues and organs. So, these informations mean that genetic information, it is stored in the sequence of nitrogen bases. These unique nitrogen base sequence, it gives the genetic information. Normally we know DNA has 4 nitrogen bases: adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine. So these base sequences stored the genetic information. So the second one is replication. In another one, the word we can say copying itself. So before the cell divides, DNA replicates to ensure that each new cell receives an exact copy of the genetic material. We know about the cell cycle. It has 5 phases: G1, S, G2, M and C. Normally, cytokinesis occurs at C phase. So DNA replicates at S phase. So this is to ensure that each new cell received an exact copy of the genetic material. The next function is transmission of hereditary information. DNA carries hereditary information from parents to offspring. It determines inherited traits such as eye color, height, and even certain behaviors as well. We know DNA stores genetic information as a nitrogen-based sequence. As I said earlier, that's how it carries hereditary information from parents to offspring. So, the next function is protein synthesis, also called it as gene expressions. So, we know DNA contains genes. Each gene codes for a specific protein. Through the process of transcriptions, we know about the central dogma, transcription-translation process. Transcription means that transferring the genetic information from DNA to RNA. That's we call transcriptions. The next one is translation. Transfer the genetic information from RNA to protein. Now we can understand DNA is the person who is responsible for controlling the synthesis of proteins that perform most of the functions in our body. Proteins are responsible for most of the functions in our body. DNA is the person who is controlling all the synthesis of proteins. So let's move. The next function is about control of cellular activities. DNA, it has a special ability to choose the genes which should be expressed. So, by regulating which genes are expressed, this DNA controls all the cellular activities from metabolism to the cell division. So, this is special function. So, the next function is about evolution and variations. We know about mutations. There are many types of mutations like deletion, duplication, inversion, insertion, and translocation. So these are types of mutations. So these mutations and changes in DNA sequences, it leads to genetic variation, which drives evolution and biodiversity. Thank you. So hope you like this video. So don't forget to subscribe the channel.